Suffolk Free Radio, Boston Radio, the views and opinions expressed on Life and Times are the views and opinions of the on-air personalities only. These views do not reflect those of Suffolk University, Suffolk Free Radio, or those at the Student Leadership and Involvement Office. Okay, before the show gets started, we got a little word from friend of the show, Age of Information, about this brand new hoodie right here. Everybody should check it out. The future's in the hands of the youth, so how will you take action? Inspired by this notion comes Age of Information's new hoodie, their best item yet. If you think that message speaks to you, look for the hoodie on ageofinfo.com, at ageofinfo on Instagram, or contact me regarding any purchase inquiries. I highly recommend it, people. It's very warm, very comfortable. The other day, I forgot a shirt after I went to the gym. You know me. Oh, yeah. And I just had the hoodie, had no undershirt, just threw it on. Dude, it was like I was wearing the most comfortable cloth. Wow. Finest material
that sounds
that
wonderful.
I've ever worn, right on my skin. So people, it's good. Give it a shot. But yeah, that's at Age of Info on Instagram, ageofinfo.com, or hit me up and we can get you one today. So here we are, everybody. Welcome to Life and Times. This is the second episode of the semester. Sorry about last week. Had a little mishap with my guests, so we had to cancel that show. But we're here, we're back, and we're ready to go. I've got two gentlemen in here with me today. Gentlemen, I am privileged to call friends, I think. I have Mr. Emilio Guido. What's good?
Hello.
And Mr. Breje. Hello.
What's
Say
up,
hello
what's
to the
up?
people, everybody. How are you, gentlemen? How you feeling today?
I'm doing well. I'm feeling good today.
Yeah.
How you guys feeling?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
It's Friday, so the week's over.
Oh, absolutely. Friday's feeling good.
So this is another episode of the Suffolk Scene series here on Life and Times, where we have Suffolk and I guess former Suffolk as well, Emilio, with you here, and kind of you. We'll get into that
in the middle there.
But having artists, musicians, and just people who express their creativity on the show to give platforms to the creative projects, and then also provide an outlet just for explanations, just for any motivations or messages that may be behind the art that you might wish to explore. So I'm very glad to have you guys here. You good?
Yeah.
I'm very glad to have you guys here. Thank you for being on. In advance.
Absolutely. Thanks for
It's gonna be
having
a
us,
great
man.
episode.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
to
Always
be
a
here.
pleasure.
So why don't we actually start with the hoodies, Emilio, since we had that beautiful ad read in the beginning.
Yeah.
So what's up? The future's in the hands of the youth. Where is that?
Yes.
What's that come from? What does that mean?
So I've had this design I've wanted to do probably since, what am I, junior year? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Second semester.
I think very early on in sophomore year, probably towards the end of freshman year, I had like the slogan. I wanted to do something with the slogan because I strongly believe. I mean, the future literally is in the hands of us. Like we are the youth. I wanted, because Age of Information. I mean, the name speaks to us. It speaks to our generation. And I think also, so I wanted to make something that is kind of like, I don't want to, not spark a movement, but like add to a movement of youth culture that we can move on and bring forth. And I just want the future is in the hands of the youth to inspire people like us, as well as give us some kind of responsibility. I think those are the two main things for the hoodie.
Yeah. So for the design itself, for people who can't see it, we'll definitely get a picture with the okay. Hope this is on camera. I hope y'all can see this, but we'll definitely post a picture with it wherever this goes, of course, and links to all the relevant stuff. But the actual hand design at the bottom, you decided to include along with the words. Did you think that the words just didn't describe it enough, or was there was the birth or maybe even prayer pose of the hands factoring into the design at all? Was there any hidden meaning there, perhaps?
Well, America is a very visual oriented society, I guess. Yeah. So I personally learn visually. And so part of what Age of Information is, like, a lot of inspiration comes from lyrics, and it comes from visualizing or adding a visual representation of lyrics, like the Never Selling Out piece, which I would highly recommend checking out.
Right. For those who don't remember, Emilio was on the show last semester, and we talked about a lot of this stuff about Age of Information and a lot of the background, and that stuff has been talked about, on the show and both in posting. So just wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But I'm not going to explain the design because it's better to just see it. But like the words "never selling out" come from, it's basic. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a lyric. It could literally come from anybody or anywhere. But just adding a visual, just adding a graphic to it, I think makes the piece stand out more, as well as it gives something because a saying can be lost in people's mind. But I think if the graphic is
Right.
meaningful to somebody, that sticks in their mind more than a saying might. Although a saying, of course, can be powerful.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you though.
Yeah.
That's 100.
Have you ever done clothing stuff like that?
That'd be sick.
Something like
Yeah.
that. Like
That'd be
back
cool.
in the day, a few years ago, we had a shirt that we had. That's for like a no bullies thing that we were promoting when I was in early high school, and we had a B that just to those people can recognize that's coming from Breje. We had a B for
Nice.
for the branding,
Very
and then
nice.
also like we had the no bullies just on the shirt itself. We have a QR code to go to the website. That way
Cool.
you can see a little bit about it. We definitely provided the visual of like a globe because I've always been about this Breje global idea
There you
where
go.
Definitely.
where it's about like tying in everybody, and it really ties in with that age of information because there's a lot of information in the world and like spreading it throughout everyone in the world. We come from so many different cultures, like all of us here even. We come from
Definitely.
different places, and like to tie it in with that global aspect, even on age of information, that globe right there, like bam,
Globe,
bam.
globe.
It's like we're like coming together and doing it together is what it's really about. So that's what we incorporated when I was young, and still doing to this day. And like age of information is doing the same.
Yeah,
tying
exactly.
it in.
Well, I appreciate you giving great insight before I actually introduced you. Thanks. I appreciate that. But this is
Absolutely.
Breje, everybody, out of Central Mass. Are you born and raised in Central Mass?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Born and raised here.
I don't know anything about Boston geography, so is there somewhere specifically in Central Mass?
Yeah. So it's near like no one ever knows where it is.
Yeah.
But it's near like Worcester, I'd say.
Yeah.
But it's like close to Leominster, Fitchburg, if you know that place. But it's from a small town called Lunenburg, and we're from there. And like growing up, I was always in Boston. I was always in Worcester and different places because
Right.
I had family everywhere. So I was always kind of like traveling a little bit, including with music growing up. So I
Yeah.
like the same from all kinds of different places.
So if you haven't heard of Breje's music or you haven't seen any of his songs before, you describe yourself as R&B, hip hop.
Yeah.
And what was the other word you said? Trap pop.
well, I think
Or
I meant to
trap
say
pop?
trap and pop.
Trap
Not
and pop.
trap.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
okay, so trap and pop. Does that mean are you rapping? Do you consider yourself like a rapper or more melodic? More
See, I don't consider myself like a rapper or
Right.
like a singer, because I'm not extravagant in either of those things.
Right.
I just love music and what it brings to me. It's like all a feeling to me. Music is all a feeling. So I just sort of like I sing rap sometimes. I'll just do a whole track singing, just if that's how I'm feeling. So
Exactly.
I let sort of like the listener sort of decide what they're sort of picking up off of it.
Right.
I don't like to put myself in a box like
Makes
most
sense, yeah.
artists and people don't like to
Definitely.
do it themselves. So
because even you see that when people blend, nowadays, I guess then you're part of like this new wave of blending genres, kind of.
Yes,
in
absolutely.
hip hop, mainstream, not mainstream, just in all sections of hip hop, where this blending of you've seen it. I mean, you can see it with rock, even Post Malone, a little country-ish.
I love Post
mix.
Malone.
You like Post Malone?
Yeah, I like Post.
That's your boy.
Yeah,
Hell
man.
yeah. You've seen or I've seen hip hop and house, mixed together. So I definitely enjoy your music for that because
Thank you.
there's obviously you got your 808s, you got your drums, you got your nice hip hop trap beats and bass that you want, but it's got a very, I don't want to say light, but it's got a nice like bright, I guess you could say, and there's a lot of beach vibe to a lot of the songs that you make, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And I think you spit good bars.
Thank you,
I would
bro.
call
Thank
you a
you, bro.
rapper. I think you do pretty good on that stuff.
I appreciate
when
it.
you're in the booth, like, because you do your own production as well.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, I
sick.
do.
Do you go for a certain style like going in, or do you just hit the booth and let whatever comes to you comes to you?
I have a terrible habit of kind of bouncing from song to song or
Yeah.
project to project, and a lot of artists kind of do that. But depending on what I'm feeling that day, I usually have something maybe more R&B esque, maybe more like rap sort of like jumpy as a vibe, or something more singy and beachy. But it really depends on my vibe and what I'm feeling that day. So I never really go in like I'm gonna do this. It's just like how it comes to me and sort of what's on my recents as well.
So do you have like simultaneous or multiple projects open that if you're feeling R&B ish, you work on that project, or do you start a new project?
Yeah, I mean it depends. It depends. Oh,
Ooh, all the fans,
all the
fans.
Sorry about that.
We are a live show.
Sorry about that.
We'll set up call-ins eventually. We'll get it eventually.
Yeah, we should do that. But I do have like multiple projects open at once, just to work on, just in case, like sometimes like I'll be able to finish a song just in, like 30 minutes or an hour, or it could take weeks. I have a song from last year or 2 years ago that I'm still working on. Like it really depends on
There's
the
our
vibe
song,
of the
of course, that the three of us in the vault.
It's still in the vault, man. It's still in the vault.
That's a hit. Yeah. Okay.
So it's like all these different projects that come along, and also like music changes so much, and my feelings change so much. Like it's about what I'm feeling in that time and moment, and what grasps me the most at the time, to be able to put how I'm feeling best for myself and also for the listener to like really feel.
And so you kind of have a following, I would say. Not kind of. You do have a following on, you could just check your accounts. You can see that, you're getting the plays, you're getting the views, you're getting the followers. How long have you been, what you consider professionally doing music and being part of the business?
So I've been it's interesting. When I was young, my sisters did music. Yeah. So I like to dance at first.
So when you say did music, does that like professionally or just interested in it?
Yeah, kind of like professional. They did a lot of shows, like traveling to different states and stuff, doing music. Yeah, so I was just kind of like doing it as well,
R&B
like with
them.
They did more pop stuff, kind of like Cheetah Girls type stuff.
Right.
But
Were you a backup dancer?
I mean, I came out during one set and I just did like 30-second dances because I was like, I want to do something. I want to do something. So they ended up kind of like doing their own thing a little bit. I was like, well, I love music. Like, I want to start doing it myself.
Yeah.
So I started when I was like 11 because I was always inspired by Chris Brown, Michael Jackson. And I like Ludacris growing up.
Yeah,
Ludacris.
Luda, man.
Luda. He's good.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers
T.I. and Ja Rule, like I grew up on them.
It's
like
a good era.
Oh yeah, 50. Like it's just so many great artists.
Definitely.
And then I started like 11, and then I did some talent shows and stuff. And from there we got to be able to do more shows. Started getting booked. My dad helped me a lot. Like I wouldn't be where I am without my parents' support. And I've always been in school doing it because that's something I always thought was important, as well as my parents. And like I'm very glad that I'm able to do all these things while being in school, because there's a lot, like that's most part of the reason I do it is because there's so many kids that when I was traveling doing music and stuff that they looked for this sort of inspiration, because they always think that they can't do it. They can't because there's always so many things going against them. And I had a lot of support, and some people don't have that. So that played a huge part in like keeping me motivated to do what I do. Over the years, things cultivated into sort of a little following. I got more exposure. And it turned into something that I really love to do all the time. I always loved to do it, but like,
was this mostly locally, or were you?
It was locally.
Was it you other places.
I mean, when I was young, I traveled to Memphis to do a school tour. Cool. To California. It wasn't a school tour out there. It was just some shows set up for me. Because Universal came to us and recognized what we were doing in schools and making an impact in the kids. And they were like, "You're doing something really nice here. So we want to help out, try to elevate where you are." And that was really, really cool. I got a little distribution there. And
are you signed?
It's not signed. So there's a difference between being signed and
selling out, yo.
Yeah, no. There's a difference. But I traveled doing school tour in Memphis, to Florida, Atlanta, and California. I traveled before I performed with Neo, Miguel, Waka, Soulja Boy, Fabulous growing up. And though these things were like normal to me because I was so young, I didn't really realize sort of what it actually was. Yeah.
Did these guys know about you beforehand, or was it just happened to get booked together?
It happened. Like those are the things that the kind of Universal helped out with.
Right.
So I mean, I still like things are. I was so young. I was just doing what doing my thing, just loving music, trying to have fun with it.
If you can you explain the difference between what you were saying, the distribution and being signed? Because don't you have a label?
Yes.
Okay,
so
but that's yours. You're not signed.
Well, it's in part. We have a few partners in it. And then the distribution.
Sorry, what's the name of your label?
WPE Music.
What does that stand for?
World Pop Entertainment.
One more time.
World Pop Entertainment.
World Pop Entertainment.
Yeah.
Breje the pop star, ladies.
That's what. that was a headline back in the day. Yeah. I had a headline next to Justin Bieber as well for the anti-bullying thing, which is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting.
What is that headline saying? What?
It was about the anti-bullying. Basically, both of us like coming out with doing anti-bullying stuff. It was really cool.
Did the content of the music relate to anti-bullying, or was it just
No, it was more of a
outside the
message.
music?
It was
Yeah.
more of a message that sort of I was feeling, because when
Very
I was in
supported,
school,
yeah.
because when I saw my friends like
Yeah.
sort of always feel some way. Sometimes my cousins came to me and like felt some sort of way about it. I was always traveling, doing music. I kind of wanted something to talk about,
Right.
other than just going up and doing a song.
Right.
Because I like to talk. Growing up, I like to hang out, just be with people,
Yeah,
and also spread positive energy, because I like being optimistic. I like positive energies around me, so I try to do the same with my music.
Has there been feedback in your life that's shown you being positive is a better path to take? Like, has being positive carried you through a situation, or is there something that struck with you that if I wasn't positive, then I wouldn't be where I am now? Because just because you say you expressing positivity.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
important to
I
you.
mean, honestly, like my grandma plays a huge role in that.
Right.
She passed away in 2009.
Rest in peace.
No, yes, R.I.P. Grandma. But she always positive through like so much hardship.
For sure.
And my mom's comes from Pakistan, and she came to America.
Right, like first generation out.
Yeah.
She left Pakistan.
Yep.
Here.
And my family is really rooted on hard work. And
Definitely. That's that immigrant mindset.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
It's
man.
true.
It's
My
very
mom, the
true.
same thing.
Yeah,
they came
absolutely.
from Nigeria. Well, they went to Toronto in Canada, but it's the same type of mentality. All these immigrants that come into, countries like America or Canada, where they're just happy to be here. Like,
Yeah,
for the most
exactly.
part.
It's
And I don't
appreciated.
think it's ignorant to say this, but for the most part, people are coming to better circumstances when they come here. So that's just their mindset. It's like, yo,
See,
we're
American
happy we
dream,
can be
baby.
here. Exactly. People trying to find it. Exactly. But sorry, continue. What were you saying?
Oh yeah, so just basically like having that like sort of support and like moral understanding.
Yeah.
Just always made me positive and appreciative of what I do have, because also when I was doing music, just seeing kids talk to me about their situations, or I'd go to a show, and
Right.
then there was like these kids are in like unfortunate predicaments right now, and they really look for artists, and like they look music, and when you guys come in, it really means something to them. And I was like, I was just doing music, and I was like, well, I was like 14, 15. I was like, well, that's beautiful.
That's important
is.
that you
It's
learn
very
that,
beautiful.
at that age.
Yeah.
than later.
It's humbling in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
show that you have the impact on people, that what you do, which is just something you love, is also something other people love, that it can mean something to somebody. And I think that's the ultimate, point that any artist wants to get to, or any type of creative expression, which is you want to know that people are feeling what you feel, or like that what you feel connects with people, like that you just have some role to play. And that's great that you said it was kids younger than you. Like, how much younger?
They were like probably like 4 years younger
There you
than
go.
me or
There
so.
you go.
But
It's great to be a role model.
it felt nice. And just spreading the positivity was always something really cool that I really like to do, and
Definitely.
like still like to do. And I was tying back to your point.
Which
I don't
point
know
was
what
that?
my point
Oh,
was.
you had
I
oh, did I do music songs around
Right.
this
Yes,
positivity?
Yes.
And I never really did, because I like to express that like just as me as a person, and in my songs I like to like talk about sort of experiences I go through in terms of like love life,
Right.
or if it's lessons I go through, and just sort of like people to feel, and the positive energies I like them to see me, and like really feel it, rather than just through audio sometimes as well. But also when I was young, sometimes kids thought it was cheesy. So they really like all this positivity stuff. They kind of
is it the high voice, the positivity?
yeah,
just corny?
So I was like, I don't want to do all that stuff.
Right.
So I was like, they can still see that and feel that just by like talking to them. Like half the time, like, just talking to people that really spreads that energy. Like the music does too as well. Like J. Cole, Drake, Post, like these different artists that I like, Jeremiah, I go to that give me that sort of positive, uplifting energy. I kind of like to do the same through the music. But then when I speak to people like at shows or like in person, I like to try to like just elevate their happiness in a way, their positive energies.
Going off what you said about being called corny, people calling you cheesy. Well, I mean, making art and putting it out for people to see is very vulnerable, right? Because you're putting your own feelings into it's you, and especially with things like music, or we could talk about film later, but when you do film, once you put it out, there's no like taking it back to edit it. It's just out there for consumption or an opinion. And as a kid, that might get very overwhelming for a lot of people, having all that opinion or just all of that feedback coming in that could be very negative. So was that ever something that deterred you or held you down, and was it something that you had to, grow past as your careers continued?
Yeah, for some time, yeah. It took like at first I never really cared too much, honestly, growing up, because there was so much positive energy around me.
That's good. Okay.
But then sometimes looking through the comments all the time, I'd be like, wow. Like,
those YouTube comments,
like,
man.
You guys,
never anything
you
good.
You guys
there.
are really ferocious out here.
Nothing good.
But at the end of the day, like having that positive mindset, I kind of always thought things through and like realized, I'm kind of like, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
It's cool. Like, I never really, like over time, like I got cool with it. You know what I mean? Because people are gonna be like that. But I just want to be that person and be like, listen, you can say whatever you want, but it's like I just spreading positive energy for you to feel better, maybe so you don't feel that way towards other people. You know
Definitely.
what I mean? So yeah, I mean,
have you ever at any point felt like you had to tailor your music to what people wanted you to do? Because you did just say that you broke out of having the feedback influence you, but was there ever any chance where like, oh, maybe if I did this more of my music, more people would like me, or I'd get less hate? Did that ever factor in, or was it always just stick to your guns?
When I was a little bit younger, I felt like that sometimes, but it's like I always have this thing in my mind where it's like music's like something. This is what you do. This is what you love to do. Artists, in any creative field, putting yourself out there is always something scary, and at a young age, I had to overcome those things, and luckily having the support behind me helped me do that. But it's like being a creative and doing that type of stuff. You sort of have that positive energy, just being like, you're doing this for you. You're putting yourself out there, like just
and
appreciating.
It's nice when other people, agree with your work, because we were talking about it earlier. Yeah, and people then come up to you and say, like, that spoke to me, that I enjoyed that.
And it's a really nice feeling.
Nice, yeah.
Just the other day in the library, some girl that was in one of my classes last semester had checked out one of my songs on SoundCloud, and just was just a casual comment like, "Yo, that was a good song." Like that was, it felt great.
Yeah,
and that was it was pretty minor, like interaction, but it really stuck with me later, because that feels great to have, like what we were saying, what you make mean something to other people.
And you don't necessarily do it for that.
Exactly. But once you get it,
it's just like it's extra.
Exactly.
Yeah. So expanding now on your timeline so far, what would you say is the most, your biggest point so far, like between 12 to 17?
He is still yet to
middle school, high school. So far. Of course.
I mean,
so far is important. Because I was wondering when was there always a decision to come to university, and at what point did you say, okay, being in school is obviously going to take up time that could take away from what music career could be. So was it hard coming off of what you might consider your biggest point so far in your initial blow up into having to do school?
No.
Or was that always the plan?
No, that was always the plan.
Yeah.
I was always very invested in school.
Good.
I love to learn. I love to learn all kind of,
You're doing it at Suffolk.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Thank you for the opportunities. Thank you.
Expressed here.
Disclaimer. We're gonna boost the sound of the disclaimer afterwards.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to come to college.
Of course.
And be in school. Even when I was doing music, I've never left school. I was always still in school. Like, that's something a lot of people never realize as well. Like, I was getting A's and B's, like,
nice, and
traveling and coming back, taking these tests. I was still doing the same thing everyone else was, but also maintaining my grades. And that was like a big part of like the motivation for other people. But school is always the route.
Good role model, people. I'm telling you, good role model over here.
There's also a lot of experience that you can gain from school, obviously.
Definitely.
And people that you can meet, networking. Sure. I think that's like
there's nothing like college for networking.
Exactly.
Just randomly meeting people that you have like interests that could grow into anything.
It's not just about education.
Exactly.
Obviously,
I mean, look at how we met.
Exactly.
We were playing basketball.
Exactly.
Like, we just always played basketball together. We were like,
and now here we are, man, making content.
Exactly. It's cool stuff, man.
Yeah, I was sorry.
Get it together, man. Come on.
My bad, I forgot we're live. We can't get this out. So was it always then the mindset that all I have to do is grind? Like, if I grind, I can have everything. I can have education. I can have music. I can have any other venture that I might be. Do you ever feel that you had to sacrifice one to really excel in the other? Or that you will have to in the future?
I feel like that's that's something naturally felt
Right.
if you're gonna do both. But I feel like it's completely attainable, considering, there's a lot of things that I've done in my past that I was still in school doing, and I feel like there's no excuses sometimes, including for like nowadays, like the opportunities that we have in front of us.
Right.
There's not a lot that we have excuses to make. Sometimes.
Was there ever a moment or various moments where you felt like if you just maybe not giving up, but putting school to the side for a long period of time and just focusing on music because you can see an avenue, you can see down the tunnel, to see that, okay, I can just do music. Music's perfect. That's more than enough for me.
Yeah.
And then school's just added pressure, added whatever, has there ever been a moment where you felt like that, and how did you get through it?
Like I said, I never looked at school as added pressure.
Okay.
I always looked at school as just something I always wanted to do and accomplish.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was just like, this is what we have to do, so how are we going to do it? So
Yeah.
Mindset. It's important,
Definitely.
people. It's
So
important.
why Suffolk then? What brought you to Suffolk? Were there other options?
Yeah, there were some other options. I want to go to BU, but I didn't fill out my application.
That'll do it,
Definitely,
folks.
yeah.
If you don't fill out the app, you won't get in.
And I came to Suffolk, and I was like, I like it here. And
Yeah.
I was a commuter already.
Right.
I lived off campus, and I like the community here. There's a lot of different cultures, which is really cool for me.
Definitely.
And I made
very
some,
international. You're right.
yeah,
I like that.
And I met a lot of cool friends. So I was like, this place is great. I like the classes. I'm doing well here. I like it, so I'm just gonna stay.
Was it but was it new for you to come somewhere where there were a lot of international students, or just kids in general?
No.
Or has it always been like that?
I've always been around a lot of different types of cultures and people.
Right.
So.
Are you in touch with your Pakistani culture?
My Pakistani family?
Yeah.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Family, of course, family.
Oh,
but I
okay.
mean, like, with the culture, with the customs, is it, because obviously being the generation that grew up in America or in the West, myself included, I imagine yourself included,
Yep.
Emilio, are you still, does your family still keep roots with that culture, with those
Absolutely.
lineage?
My mom is straight from the village of Pakistan in Lahore, and but my dad's from Chicago, and I kind of got both cultures, especially the religion thing. Growing up was there was a Muslim, and then I was Christianity. So I never
Were
really.
both of your parents religious?
Yes,
Quite so.
and not like extraordinarily
Right.
so, but they're
Right.
they believed in their religions.
Right.
And growing up, I kind of pulled from both, so I never really took one
Yeah.
and ran with it. So I looked at religion as more of like guides, I guess, and just gave me more perspective and understanding. I never really just went like this is my religion, But I feel like a lot of the religions really make you feel and have different stories to make it say the same sort of things, but. I've always had my Pakistani family around my hometown, and also, my family from my dad's side. So I was always around both cultures.
Yeah.
The
The religion thing is interesting because, obviously two.
Here we go.
What? No, nothing
Should we be
crazy.
speaking about this?
Nothing crazy. I was
Sorry
just
about
because two obviously similar religions in Christianity and Islam with their differences, but and you said neither of your parents were, very religious, but was there ever contention on, like the influence of one over the other, or was it always just celebration of all facets of you?
It was a celebration of everything.
Me too. Yeah, because that was the same thing in my experience. My parents always told me that, because I don't know how you identify. If you identify black first, Pakistani first, if you identify as mixed.
We say Pakistani.
Blackistani. I like
we
it,
Blackistani.
people. Name of this episode, Blackistani.
I put that on my song recently too. But I don't think I'm gonna release that one. But it's, I'll put the bar in another
definitely.
song. But
Definitely. Well, I just because my parents always preached that you can be white, you can be black, you can be both, you can be neither. It's up to you, but we are always going to present all parts of you, right? Because I've got Nigerian, Irish, Scottish, American is its own culture. Hell yeah, you probably do too.
Just
a little bit.
Italian and Honduran.
No Scottish in there.
No
Scottish?
Scottish. No, it's those two, 50-50.
Okay, but it was just to say that all that to say, I think we've had similar benefits from the mixed experience, which is that you can pull multiple perspectives, diverse thought, as opposed to any one-tracked cultural thinking for any positives or negatives that might be. Has embracing your mixed identity ever been an issue for you? Did it take you a while to come into your own of your racial and ethnic identity?
It was more like really understanding how beautiful what we have is, and also it is to be here. And that's just looking at your heritage and looking at your ancestry, and sort of understanding that. And like honestly, my family like made it rather easy for me to good. Like really accept all those things. So it never really was hard. Yeah, so it was nice. It was nice to really celebrate all these.
I think I don't know about a lot of, but I think an aspect of being mixed is what I see as a positive and a negative is this ability to kind of forge your own individual identity, where in the sense where you're not one or the other. Like I was saying, my parents were telling me, not one or either, but you're both. You are a new whole breed that is more than the sum of its parts. You're not just this plus this. You're the equals part. You're the whole new sum, you know what I'm saying, of the equation. And I think for some people that's empowering. You find strength in thinking that, well, the world can't tell me what I am, because a lot of the times the world sends you messages based on individual race. Yeah, exactly. So if they're appealing to you, it's only one or the other. The world
pushes you into a box.
Exactly. So I think for a lot of people, that's empowering to say, no, I'm breaking out of that box. I mean, we've talked about this before, maybe even on the last episode, Emilio, but being the author of your own destiny, that type of thing is. But then for other people, I think that could be a daunting challenge, and I don't think that that's uncommon. I think I'm at the point today where I find it empowering, but I definitely struggled with my racial identity, which is why I wanted to ask you before in the past. And you fall into trying to be one or the other. I definitely tried to identify as black over anything, as opposed to being mixed when I was growing up. Just various, you're not black enough, but then I have to push back and say, yes, I am, right? So I overcompensate. But that point of getting to where it's empowering, I think, is a blissful moment. I think it's a moment that you don't go back from. Like, I think that's a no turning back point. And have you guys felt that? Do you guys think you've gotten there in your life? And you kind of just answer it, but Emilio, maybe this is more for you. Was it hard for you to get there? Was there turmoil along the way?
Yeah, definitely. I would say there's some turmoil. Yeah, I think early on in my life, because honestly, I've always been. People have always gotten my ethnicity wrong. Some people think I'm Mexican. I've heard Arab before. Right. I've heard, honestly, like quite a bit of different things. And early on, I would try to, I would identify more with the Spanish side of me, and there honestly really isn't that much of a Spanish side, because I'm not really in touch with the Spanish side of my family. So. But for some reason, I wanted to identify when I was younger with that side, probably because I didn't have it. But as I've gotten older, I think I honestly don't necessarily express or feel like mixed, because I don't feel I don't feel in touch so much with that Spanish side, because I'm not in touch with that side. Right. But I feel more Italian. It kind of sounds funny to say I feel more Italian, but I do, just because I feel that's my culture,
For sure.
That's what I've been raised around.
Exactly.
Brought up in. Those are my people,
For sure.
I don't know.
I hear that.
But it's always something that you will acknowledge, that there is other stuff there that is important, even if it might not be as relevant. Yeah,
because it's a part of who I am.
Exactly.
That's still part of what I'm made of.
For sure. Okay, so bringing it back, Breje, to Suffolk, and coming to Suffolk, what are you studying? I mean, right now you're off, right?
Right, I'm off right now. But when
why? For music reasons?
Music, work reasons. Yeah. Multiple reasons. But when I'm re-enrolling, it's going to be in PPE program.
Politics, philosophy, economics. That is mine as well.
Yes, that's going to be my first semester.
What are your initial hopes for it? Why did it look appealing to you?
Yeah, I mean, at first I really liked law and economics coming into Suffolk. But what was appealing about it was it incorporates politics and economics, and I really like psychology and just the mind in itself and sort of understanding. I've always wanted to read the books, and hopefully these courses will give me better insight on psychology and also economics and politics. So
there actually is a PPE I don't think in America, but I think in European countries that does have law. It's PPEL, so it's got them all. Because PPE is that was funny. PPE is like a relatively, I don't know how much you know about it, but it's a pretty new program. In the States.
It is new. Yeah.
I think Suffolk and does Northeastern have one,
as well.
and then maybe 2 or 3 other universities in the whole country, I think, have it. It's really popular in the European countries, like I was saying, but it's new.
It's nice. It's like a broad spectrum. It helps.
Exactly.
It opens you up to a lot of different fields.
Exactly. That's pretty much why I decided to
graduation.
take it. Yeah,
Exactly.
because I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
you seem to have your music thing more figured out. But I'm not entirely sure what's after college,
Me neither,
right?
man.
So
You can never tell the future.
of course,
man.
of course,
these are all
of course.
tools for us.
So
to use.
exactly, which is why something like PPE, which, as you said, exposes you to so much,
Yes.
and it doesn't go as in depth as you would if taking it individually, but it gets you deep enough. So you've got widespread knowledge and some good depth into each of it, and that is just, I mean, politics alone. Economics alone opens as many doors as you can think of. So all of them together, I think. And the philosophy really helps with critical thinking. I'm taking an environmental ethics class right now, and it's like every time I go to class, I come out with new thoughts that I've never thought before, or new ways of looking at something I never thought before. So
Those discussion-based courses are good.
yeah, they're
To
great.
hear other perspectives,
Exactly.
especially in a school like this.
I can't
Although
wait to
I'm
take
not
this.
here.
There's a lot of good options of
Yeah.
courses to take. There's a lot of diverse topics that you'll find a lot of diverse people in. You were just saying. And it's very beneficial. I think it's increased my learning. Suffolk, I'll definitely give you praise for that. Normally throwing shots, but definitely praise.
Okay. Bad thing.
So how much are you still on track to graduate 2019 or 2020 now?
2020.
Because this is the second semester off?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes,
Similar
2020
reasons last time?
now. Yes.
Nice.
Similar.
Back
Are you-
to back semesters
What's that?
off? Back
Yeah.
to back. Okay.
Yep.
Are you
Yep.
excited to come back?
Oh, yeah.
You miss being here in the halls of Sawyer?
Oh, I just
The mean streets of, what's this,
Oh,
Somerset?
Bowdoin. No, Bowdoin.
Bowdoin? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to come back.
Yeah? Why?
Honestly, I miss playing basketball
For sure.
and hanging out with everybody. And
Shout out
then-
Coy, of course.
Oh,
Oh,
cool. JoJo. So, got
JoJo.
Josh, man. I miss Paul.
I forgot about like everybody except Koi.
Doug, shout out Doug. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Big 3.
Like, yeah.
Gabe.
Gabe, yes,
Yeah.
of course. Okay.
Rami, yo.
Rami
with the tray, baby.
I just saw him the other day in the hallway, man. Rami, that's a good guy. Good
Yeah,
guy, funny guy.
yeah. He was. They hit me. They're in the message. They were balling right now.
Oh, sick.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's
that's
go. Let's go. Let's
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Sorry,
it was
we
great.
have to
Great,
wrap
guys.
up,
Good
we have to
night.
wrap up. That's actually kind of how we met. Was a little through
was that
Rami,
basketball?
right?
Yeah,
'Cause
you
he's
were
like,
saying that, yeah.
Exactly.
he brought you with him. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah,
Good times.
excited to play basketball. I like to take these classes and just read and learn more, and also take what I can from these professors. And yeah, hang out with people, connect.
Are you in tune with Suffolk music community at all? Do you know anything about it?
A little bit. bit.
What's your take on it? Because I don't know that much about it, which is partly why I wanted to start this show.
To be honest, I know
series.
like they do plays and stuff down there. What is it called? Paramount or something?
Wait, what's it?
Paramount or something?
What are you
down
talking
there.
about?
Don't they do plays and like
Oh,
shows out there?
yeah.
And I know Ben's doing his thing out
Yeah.
here.
Shout out Ben P.
And a friend Kenji, actually, he's a good singer.
I know Kenji.
Kenji,
Yeah,
he's a good singer.
Mhm.
But I haven't been able to connect
Does
with
he
him
do like
lately.
music? I mean, not professionally, but does he put stuff out?
See, I have to connect with him a little bit
Right,
more. I'm not
right,
completely
right.
sure, but I heard a few names that are doing their thing, and I was not always trying to connect with people. Just
Yeah.
to,
Well, I was gonna ask you that because you don't have on your SoundCloud and stuff. There's no features. I don't know how often you do collab work or features on songs or features yourself. But is that something you're looking into doing more of? Being back in Suffolk, connecting with more music.
Yeah,
minds?
definitely trying to connect in every way possible. I don't just limit myself to just me even being on the song all the time. I would love to connect with someone, produce and
for
see
sure.
what
For sure.
they could do on a song, or maybe the other way around, or if we do vibe right on a song, that we could do one together. I'm very open to all these different ideas, and it's just what's best for the music.
Is there a reason why there hasn't been much of that already, or has there been and just it just
there's-
hasn't come together or come out?
You know how it goes.
Yeah.
You sometimes connect, you vibe, and then it falls off maybe, or
Something happens.
you get busy.
Yeah.
But I really like to connect with people and see how they how they come towards the music and how
For sure.
we can connect and sort of make something really cool.
Nice.
For ourselves and the people.
Nice. That's something. I mean, you kind of touched on, Emilio, with your NUTV stuff, is coming together with people who are of like expressive mindsets, right? And how has NUTV been going since more? Have you got more accustomed to it?
Yeah,
How's
I
all
was
the
actually
filming stuff going?
thinking about it when we were setting up the camera.
Yeah.
Because
That took a little bit, folks. Sorry about that.
not to degrade Ramcam
Yeah,
or
it's all
anything
good.
there. I mean, I'm pretty sure
used
I've
to it.
mentioned it before on the show.
Yeah.
that It's just, but I hate to say it.
Do
but,
it. Say it.
I hate
What
to
is
say
it?
But
Talk,
it seems like well, it doesn't seem like, but I guess Ramcam. I don't want to say Ramcam's closed-minded.
Oh, hot take.
I don't wanna say- I don't
Yo,
wanna-
I need to get one of those
I don't
things for
wanna
our
say-
next show.
It's not closed-minded because I like a lot of
Yeah.
the people that are in the club.
Yeah.
It's,
Do you mean in terms of their vision, creative visions?
Well, I think so. They've been doing a lot of working with entrepreneurs and
Yeah.
creating videos for those entrepreneurs.
Kickstarter campaigns.
Kickstarter campaigns, and they don't really do much of their own like narrative creations and stuff like that. And I know they're
Right.
breaking into that, but I don't know. I prefer being in NUTV because like that's what they're about. It's an entertainment group.
Right.
You know, they're creating content for they're trying to make narratives. They're
Right.
trying to write stories and things like that. And there's people who act, and there's people who direct, there's people who light, and there wasn't really that here at
Yeah.
Suffolk, so I prefer being in an environment where it's already I have to grow and adapt to
Yeah.
the acting and the people who are directing, people who have already been doing it, so I don't know, it works for me better just
Yeah.
being around other people who are a few steps ahead of me, so I have
Yeah.
to kind of catch up to it, I
Yeah,
guess.
steel sharpens steel, man. You gotta be around people who inspire you to be
Yeah.
able to do better. It's the only way. If you're around duds, you're not gonna be. Not to say
Absolutely.
Ramcam is duds. Of course not. Of course not. But
That's real.
when you're
That's
just
very
around,
true.
when you're around more creative minds, it just, even if they're not in your field, it's good that they are. But it just inspires you. So that's great. Have you? And obviously, we are working on a film venture together, you and I. So you directing. Yes, people definitely be on the lookout for that. That'll be coming soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're in the shooting process now, but how has the directing experience been so far? This is your first time directing?
Yeah, so we've
Bringing
had,
your visions to reality. How has that been?
unbelievably difficult.
Yeah.
It's so difficult.
But once you get through, it's gonna be so wonderful.
exactly.
It's gonna be
That's-
so wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's the point, because I forget that. You
Yeah.
know, I sometime during the process, I myself forget what I'm telling people from the beginning. We're gonna be doing this for a while. It's gonna take proper execution, and but once we get to that finish line and we can look back and see all of what we did, and it's gonna be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna
but,
feel
but
great.
like I said, I have to remember that myself and
Yeah.
inspire myself with that. But to your question, which was
Well, just directing your first experience in general. Yeah.
So we've
just any takeaways from it so far.
So far, I've probably led, directed / held the camera 2 times on my own set. I've done it a few times on like really, really short videos.
Yeah.
But what I think the issue really is, or my first 2 times I've been the cameraman as well as the director, and that's so difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to direct actors when you're trying to look and try to capture everything in this really small frame, and so it's been honestly a pretty difficult process,
bet,
but
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be best for me in the long run.
Yeah.
When I look back, and like you said, when I finish this project,
Yeah.
it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, it is tough to have to take on so many roles, but then on the other hand, the thinking is it's your vision that
Yeah,
you're trying
it's
to
hard
make.
to
So
ask
how can
somebody else.
how can you really communicate that? It has to be a quite intuitive, creative mind for you to be able to communicate it perfectly.
Yeah.
So obviously you're still doing the directing yourself, but how do you weigh that? How do you weigh trying to which decision you're going to make, basically?
Of
Trying to do it yourself, trying to
Oh.
take on the whole 2 loads of director and cameraman, or trying to explain to somebody else. How do you decide which one's worth the effort? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I honestly would prefer to have to just be the director and then have a cameraman.
Yeah.
But with the project we're kind of referring to, that we're working on, is very, it's really, really specific, and there's a lot of small nuances because it's a long, like minute and 15, like one take, you know, of constant movement, and so there's a lot of stuff that kind of sits on my shoulders to make sure I get it right, and so I'm okay with that kind of burden of getting it right, and rather than kind of constantly trying to reiterate, you know, oh, I wanted him to do this, or I wanted him to do that. Can you maybe like move the frame, you know, 0.2 like centimeters to the right, you know, being super specific with somebody else who might not be as attached to the project, or someone who literally just can't see it like I can.
Right.
So it's just easier, I think. Well, I don't know if it's easier, but to for this project to do it myself. But I would prefer, honestly, to just direct and in the future. Right. With other projects.
So this being your first directing venture, is there something that you're trying to convey or portray specifically, or like where did the idea come from? Is there a meaning behind it? Are you trying to reach a certain, you know, demographic?
So for this project, you're talking about the one that we're working on? Yeah. All right, so the tentative title that we're running with is called Catch Your Breath. And and so
ad-libs.
Okay.
So it's about, so it's kind of, I guess, originally it started out with I guess wanting to do something that covered multiple perspectives in one take. And it's been described by like one or two other people. It's like a documentary style chase scene. So it's basically kind of starting out with, you know, you start from one perspective, and then you kind of, what happens is the camera kind of tells you that this person, you know, who we're seeing at first is important. And so the audience kind of, again, thinks, you know, like, okay, this is who we should be following with. This is who we should sympathize with. And then, like, in an instant, you snap your fingers, and then this person, you know, is
I don't know. Yo, you want to give away? You want to give away?
No,
all
I don't.
right now?
You asked the question. You asked for the meaning. No, it's hard to.
I'm at the edge of my seat right now.
So I'm trying to give little.
Yeah. Well, if you don't want to reveal anymore, we can kind of retool the question.
Yeah, please.
Which is there something you're trying to prove to yourself with your first creative venture as director? Is there something you're trying to get across on screen that started at the beginning, or even along the way so far with this film?
I mean, I strongly believe I can do it, and I can reach whatever I'm seeing in my mind, and actually being able to see what's in my mind, and it compares to what's in front of me when I have it done. I know I believe in myself that I can do that.
Yep.
You know, it's just when I don't know what I don't know, you know, so it's, you know, so going through this process, I don't know a lot of things.
Yep.
So I'm learning a lot of stuff as I go on, but there is meaning in the actual story, and there is I guess I don't know. Yeah, I guess just trying to prove it to myself, you know.
Yep.
That I truly can. I believe I can do it, like I said, but I just have to actually do the work, you know.
Yeah. You know, I honestly I hear that 300% because, you know, like I feel like all creatives sort of feel that at some point. Yeah, you know, like definitely. we know what we want. We have a vision. Everyone, I feel like everyone, no matter who you are, has a vision. Yeah. And it's just about what you're willing to do to get there. And you know, it seems like you're really putting in the thought thoroughly into what you have to do to get to that finish line. And you know, it may be hard and struggling, but it's like you have the drive and like the will, you know what I mean? And it's like having that is like very important, and like
and sometimes I lose the drive.
Oh, it's sometimes and that's normal. That's completely normal.
Because not living up to your own standards is the most discouraging, you know, feeling ever. It makes you want to stop. It makes you not want to push through the obstacle. I was gonna.
I just may say, to disregard what Tyler just said.
Yeah, no, I didn't say anything.
That's when the people around you become important. Like you were saying, you know, your parents, you know, they come in and tell you, you know, keep pushing forward.
Definitely.
You know, it's fine. This is just one moment in the entire process. You just have to get through it.
So as, again, it's your first time, so maybe you don't know the full answer to questions like these, but issues of the script may be evolving as you film, as you're there, hands-on, you're in the moment trying to create the film, and ideas evolve, or even maybe after the first shoot, ideas evolve, and you have to go back and reshoot it. Is how much do you stick to the original idea versus trying to switch it up maybe in the moment? Because that again reaches to the notion of creating the vision that's been in your head. Because if it changes along the way, then now suddenly the vision's different. Does that feel wrong to you? Do you go with the flow, like whatever feels natural, or what's your process?
So making a film is a really, really long process.
Yeah.
And so in that long span of time, you know, you change, you know, you grow,
For sure.
and you adapt to the project that you're working on as well. And I think that honestly, I do feel at first I don't like straying away from what I was originally intending to do, and sometimes I do get like bothered with myself if I do stray away from. But I do have to. That's just the evolution. That's just the process of evolution.
Embracing that.
Right.
Yeah,
Embracing
and
that,
for sure.
and the project gets better when it does evolve the way it just kind of naturally does. You
And
know,
some
instead of
things you
trying to
can't
push it
envision.
away.
Some things don't come up until you're actually there and have
obstacles
to change.
can create something
Definitely.
better. You know,
absolutely.
For
So,
sure,
'cause
for
you
sure.
work around it, you find another way to do it. You know,
Exactly, and you have
So-
to think maybe a little more outside the box. Whereas you may be thinking of conventionally with the first idea, and that sparks a lot of ideas for the baseline. And then that obstacle, like you said, you have to find a new path. You have to think outside of these lines that you've already painted for yourself.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, breaking out of your own boundaries and then having to, you know, obviously new ones with whatever the vision is. So that's great. Okay, dope, yo. Guys, that was dope. I thought that was a great answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're
glad
at
you're
50
satisfied.
minutes now. We still have a little time. So kind of shifting gears, but a little bit the same is something we talked about yesterday, Emilio, is Facebook. I don't know if you saw this, but has most recently changed their way that they rank posts that show up on your newsfeed. So you know how now
it hasn't changed yet.
I
It's-
don't know
they're
when
just
it's supposed to.
talking
I'm not
about
sure
it.
when it's supposed to.
Okay.
But as, you know, people who create stuff and eventually want to put it out there, this could affect any type of promotions or type of advertising of products, or not products, but your product as in creative product that you might want to get out there. But they've basically changed it to things from your friends and family, like posts from your actual Facebook friends that get a lot more activity will start showing up more, as opposed to like meme pages, or, you know, when you just scroll past, see like 6 videos in a row, advertisements, pages, promotions, just things like that. And I just wanted to ask, what do you guys think? Maybe both as the casual consumer and maybe through the other lenses I mentioned as people who will be trying to promote creative works. What do you think about it?
You can go.
Anybody? Is this the first time you're hearing about it?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
so
do you wanna go
I
first?
honestly, the first time I had heard about it was
Yeah.
an article I was reading that Jim Carrey was trying to get everyone to
Yeah, talk about
boycott.
that, because
Did you
I haven't
see-
seen it. I
honestly-
haven't read it, but I don't know what he was talking about.
I mean, I didn't read too much into it because I was like, "What is he talking about? Like, how are people? Who's gonna boycott Facebook?
Yeah.
I mean, like that's so tough.
Mhm.
And I don't think anyone's gonna follow with him
Right.
on that. So
He's bold.
Yeah, that's
like
He's definitely that's
yeah.
something
Jim.
that, you know, it's Facebook. How can you possibly get people to boycott
Yeah.
it? Is something even Facebook
knows.
and
know
like they
that.
mentioned it in the article I was reading about it. They said, you know, we'll probably lose money or whatever. Like they'll lose
They'll find a
in
way
the
to make
short
money.
term, because, you know, just whatever. Like it's people now who aren't paying for the platform as opposed to ads who are paying to get their things. I was about to say the wrong word. Get their things up
Their
there.
stuff.
But they know, like, people aren't going to leave
yeah.
Facebook. People
Yeah,
are going to
they-
stay, and it could very
It's
well
gonna
just
really-
attract more. Exactly. So they know they're going to make it back.
Yeah.
But you want to continue what you were saying about how you feel about it in general?
I mean, I think it's for the better. And like one thing we were talking about
Yeah.
was, what other reasoning do they have in order to do this? Because like you said, it seems like in short term it's they'll lose money.
Right.
But what do they see long
Right.
term? You know, why are they okay with this kind
Yeah,
of?
is it genuine? Is it
Yeah.
really just from, you know,
Yeah.
the goodness of their hearts?
Yeah.
Because I just saw, we talked about, shout out Ben P earlier, but he had a post that said he had to take his card info off of Facebook after promoting his stuff because they just like dipped into his account and took money out of it. Because he so that's an advisory for people to take your card info when they're done promoting your stuff, because people are commenting that it's happened to them before, and you have to like file for fraud and things like that. So I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know how that
Yeah.
affects Facebook like legally, because that's really
That's
bad.
really illegal.
That's really illegal. So I don't know where are the motives coming from for actions like this. I'm not sure. But another thing we talked about that is good for it is, and they also kind of mentioned it in the main article for it, or at least the New York Times one, is a lot of the times when you go on Facebook and all it is videos and then meme and then ad and then repeat, is Facebook becomes a very passive activity. Like you just go to it just to scroll, just to look at, just to passively take in the information, as opposed to, they again mentioned it in the article, they want people to start actively using Facebook again, more meaningful use. And I think that's the idea behind showing posts from your friends that get a lot of comments, that get a lot of activity, because it's just some active use of Facebook, I guess. Because even if it's just leaving a comment, you still have to think about it, you know, or if it's about a, you know, more in-depth topic, it's thoughtful comments, it's active critical thinking. So I think that's good, because like, this is rant time. That's my little spiel.
It's your show. So.
Yeah, damn right. That's what I like to hear, Emilio. You always have a spot on this show. But I was just saying that the influx of things like the ads and the pages and all that stuff, it both overwhelms and desensitizes. So in the overwhelm sense, where all you see is bad news, but news is included in that as well. Like news about this tragedy, that tragedy, this bad thing happened here, this bad thing happened there, all these negative politics. And while these things are important to know about, like it's important to know about issues, but the constant reinforcement of it and influx of it that I've definitely seen an increase of on my Facebook, I think a lot, or Instagram, anything, I think a lot of people would say the same. That starts to paint a picture subconsciously and consciously in your mind of the world is a much more dangerous place than it is. It makes it seem a lot smaller. It makes it seem like these tragic events, which again are tragic and maybe should be known about, but it makes people think that's going to happen like in their backyard, you know. It starts to develop fester these irrational fears, these irrational phobias in people, that the world is a lot scarier place than it is. That sociology class we took however many years ago that was, our semesters ago. Was it last semester? Okay, anyway, ago. But there was someone in that class. We got history. There was someone in that class who called it mean world syndrome, and I think that's a great name for it, because you just think the world is this great mean place that, you know, depravity and hellhole, all that stuff. So I think it's good that that's going to be scaled back. And I think it's good that the desensitizing part, which I kind of mentioned, is it just becomes a passive scrolling activity.
It's a great point.
So I think it will create more meaningful use of Facebook, which then could be where the value comes back, where they think, okay, we'll get all this money back.
They should find value in people finding value of their site, and not just, you know, zombifyingly scrolling through.
Because if people think that you care about what they have to say, they'll support you, right? If Facebook makes it so that people who talk a lot and who get reaction are validated, then more people are going to want to be on there, which could be a good or bad thing. You know, this could open up to a lot more stupid stuff. But, you know, that's the world. The world is a stupid place.
Yeah, but it's also your friends and family. So if your friends and family are putting out stupid stuff, then, I mean, you like them for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. So. That might be why you like them. Yeah. Shout out Matt. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, we could talk NBA. Are we NBA fans in the house?
Man. Man.
There was a trade deadline just happened. There was a lot of crazy stuff that just happened.
I looked at that this morning.
We talked a little bit about this before we went on air. So obviously the biggest one is the Cavs clearing out, like the whole shop.
You know what's crazy?
What's up?
The Celtics basically got Kyrie, and Cavs got Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, like indirectly,
that's crazy.
It's a good win for the Celtics, but the Celtics didn't make a move, right? They didn't trade anybody. Are you a Celtics fan?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You're a Lakers fan. Obviously.
Kyrie's my favorite player.
Oh really?
We got Kyrie.
Very excited.
Oh, him and Kawhi.
Kawhi's dope.
I don't know what's going on with Kawhi, because I
is he out forever?
I don't know.
It looks like he's never gonna play again.
And I don't know what his relationship is with the Spurs either, because I was reading some article talking about that, because he's rehabbing whatever injury he's going through right now, and there was something report saying that himself and the organization don't agree on like the rehabbing process.
I think they're not doing a good enough job.
I don't know,
because it was two very different injuries, right? One was quad and the other was like a shoulder or something for Kawhi.
I think the last one was shoulder.
Yeah. Okay, well, hopefully he gets better. He's my favorite player too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's gonna get better and just chill.
Yeah.
As the Lakers fan, how do you feel about these trades?
Dude, when I saw the IT trade,
how did you feel?
Thomas, I looked at my phone like 4
jaw drops.
Times, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
yeah.
Like, what? I honestly couldn't believe it. I thought they were gonna trade Randall. I thought Julius Randle was gonna be traded from the Lakers. Yeah, I was surprised that they trade Larry Nance and Clarkson. I figured, because they signed him for like a 3-year, $7 million contract. So that's pretty.
Right.
That's a pretty good contract
Yeah.
to move. So I figured he was probably on his way out. Although I really liked Clarkson.
Was
and
he
he's
balling
doing
this
really
season?
well. Yeah, because I think you had mentioned he was dropping like 18 points or something.
Dude,
off the
easy.
bench.
Off
He
the
was
bench.
doing-
Easy.
I think
He's money.
doing
I
his
think he's
thing.
the best.
He's
like,
money.
performer, or like
Yeah.
six man right now. I think actually.
Okay.
So
That's going to be Isaiah now. Isaiah's going to be coming off the bench.
Yeah,
for you guys.
off
Right
the
behind
bench.
Lonzo Ball.
yeah.
My
And
God.
even though
What do you think of
Lonzo's
Lonzo?
not playing, honestly, he hasn't really played that much. He's one thing I've noticed
This is
is
very
he's been
true.
sitting
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Yes, he
and
has.
that's pretty worrisome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not good.
Especially for a point guard, like you need to be on the court.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the hardest.
He's the
position.
future, too.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's not good.
I don't know. I mean, I think because the point guard is the hardest position to transition from college to the NBA because a lot rests on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And I think that I like Lonzo, and I think
I like Lonzo too.
Yeah, and I don't want to give an opinion about. I don't want to say anything negative because I really haven't seen that much. Like I said,
Right.
Yeah.
he's barely been on the court, but I think. Yeah, he's good. He just needs time, like every other point
I
guard.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
like D'Angelo Russell.
I just
I was coming to you for more next, but
Yeah,
it seems that's
great.
all you got.
I mean, like Lonzo, he just has so much on his plate right now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Including in scale to like other NBA point guards that might come
Right.
into the NBA from college, and I feel like he's dealing with it well. Although he is sitting.
Yeah.
Which is like,
Yeah.
it made me think as well.
Yeah.
Like he should be playing, right?
Right.
If they want him to be the future, they should really give him those reps. But maybe it's a thing where they're having him sit for a little bit because of his performance,
Right.
and
Could
trying to just be like, hey, maybe we should practice some more. And,
Right.
but
Get in shape.
Yeah, but I feel like I see a bright future for this
Yeah.
dude. Man.
I do too.
He's really good, and he's calm and collected. Like he's
he deals with the pressure pretty well.
yeah,
Dude,
absolutely,
he's
bro.
ice cold. Like he's
Yeah.
He's
he's
literally
cool,
ice,
bro.
bro.
He's
Like,
cool.
His
like,
the
his
Lakers.
His demeanor is amazing.
I
Yeah.
was watching. I was actually watching the Lakers and Thunder's game last night, which
Yeah.
the Lakers won.
Dope.
Oh, but that was because Westbrook and I think Melo was out. Both of them were out.
Westbrook's a
Yeah.
beast, bro.
Yeah,
Melo is
yeah,
not.
Yeah,
I hope Paul George
can
goes
shoot,
to the
though. That's-
Lakers, but
he shoot.
I think in the last month since from yesterday to January from January 7th to today, the Lakers have been 12-4.
Yeah.
For this like past month without Lonzo. Most of
Yep.
that was without Lonzo.
Who's starting in place? Do you know?
Um,
Is it some rookie or some unknown name, or is it somebody
man. I forgot
maybe
his
pretty
name is.
unknown since you can't remember it?
No, it's I
Ask Siri.
think Tyler Ennis. Tyler Ennis
Well,
plays
not
a
ask
little
Siri.
bit. Another rookie, Alex Caruso, plays a
Okay.
little bit,
Nice.
and then now IT whenever he starts.
Do you think
He's
James
the
Harden's
boy.
gonna get MVP this year?
I hope so.
What's it? Does anybody know what he's averaging?
I
Is
do
it
not.
is it better than last year? Because if so, if it's better than last year, then he should.
I think he's gonna get it this year though.
Yeah.
I don't know how much he's
I
averaging,
don't
but
know
I
either.
Yeah, because who are the other even? Is anybody else even close? You could have said LeBron during one point, but they've
you can
slipped
say
back
LeBron
down again.
Every
course,
point
of course.
ever. Like,
Ever. Yeah.
They,
Who else is playing well? I haven't been
I
tuning in that much.
honestly, me neither.
Yeah.
I literally
We're trying to
watch.
talk about it. We don't
I
know
literally
shit.
watch like highlights all
Westbrook,
the time.
I'm sure Westbrook's in contention.
Yeah.
because he's pretty consistent with his triple doubles,
Right.
and being a beast.
Right.
I have to say, Chris Paul,
He's dirty.
He's
He's so
dirty.
dirty.
he's one slick dude, bro.
He is. He's so
He's
good.
too much for this whole.
He's so good.
Bro, his plus minus.
Yeah.
Like he has the best plus minus right now. in the
Okay.
NBA.
Would James Harden still be your MVP front
Yes.
runner without Chris?
Oh,
Is
without
Chris making
Chris.
him better?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Chris makes everyone better.
So
Yeah.
so without Chris, do you think Harden would still be MVP?
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, he's a walking force.
You get more ball touches anyways.
Yeah. True.
Pause.
So,
Oh man, this is a kid show.
Sorry.
Is it? I don't know. I guess it's not. Is this a kid show?
no, unless kids are listening. I don't think
Well,
it's a kids show.
yeah, but I don't know
Do
who's
you
listening.
know kids?
I don't
Do
know.
you know any kids? Would
That's true. I don't have kid friends.
do
They
kids
would
know
be tuning
podcasts?
in. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well, gentlemen, we did it. We made it to an hour. Is there anything else on your minds? Because I'm ready to wrap up. I gotta pee.
Oh my gosh.
Please, bro.
That's just
What's on?
I do have to, yo.
This is your
Oh, when are we gonna
show.
play basketball?
I'm still kind of rehabbing.
Oh, you're still-
I
yeah,
was
the shoulder,
shooting
right?
around
Yeah.
yesterday. I was shooting around
How's it
yesterday,
feel?
and it felt pretty good.
Yeah.
My form is garbage, so bad. It's so bad. But the actual motion's good. But the fatigue is there, like the muscle fatigue, just because I haven't done it in such a long time. So I am still rehabbing, but soon. When do you come back to Suffolk? Next semester?
Yeah, fall.
Okay, cool.
I'll come around.
But
I
still play basketball.
Where are you playing?
Here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dope.
I always play basketball here,
Yeah.
or I go to LA Fitness.
Where's that?
Saugus.
What?
Saugus.
What? No, seriously, I don't know where you're
Saugus.
saying. Oh, okay.
I thought you were just
No, I just don't know. I told you I don't know anything about Boston
the
or
geography
Massachusetts
and around
geography. America geography, really. I couldn't name all 50 states. I got a 7 out of 50 way back in the day when we had to label the 50 states. So that's a solid F.
Wow, that's pretty
That's
bad.
it. That's
Pretty bad.
It's bad, dude. It's really bad. Could you enlist them?
More than 7. I probably couldn't list all 50,
Yeah.
but more than 7.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a
What do you
message.
think? A message?
Guys, do not download Fortnite.
Can I download what?
Fortnite.
Fortnite?
Don't do it. It's been
What is
taken
it?
over,
What is
bro.
it? What is it?
It's a game,
Yeah,
bro.
Okay.
It's a game. It's a.
What's it about?
It's like
Googling
people say it's like what is it, Minecraft meets Call of Duty.
Ooh.
I say it's more
Interesting.
like the Hunger Games because it's like
Ooh,
it's,
interesting.
it's crazy, bro. So you drop off a plane, right, and
Oh.
on this land, and then
Okay.
it circles like the circle gets smaller and smaller, and you get dropped with 100 people, and it's basically survival.
Is this the one? This cover? That one?
That is the one.
Not this one.
And no,
Gotcha,
not that
gotcha.
one.
Just making sure.
But
That's
I've been
weird.
playing it like crazy, and I hate it, man. I'm like,
What
I
system?
definitely should be in the studio.
Oh, just on your laptop or what?
On an Xbox One.
Oh, do
You
they
know
have-
what's crazy?
Do they have
I
a
got it.
PC
Is it
version?
free? Is it free?
It's free.
Yeah.
That's what's scary.
Yes.
That's free. But they've been making so much money because off like
course.
like outfits and stuff these
Right.
kids buy and
E-League too. I'm
stuff.
sure they're probably gonna try to get into having people
The
play
esports?
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Mhm.
stuff's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
We
you
can
got
talk about that. Too. That's a whole nother.
some esports. Are you guys video game players? Are you into video games that
Rarely.
much?
You know, I used to play a lot,
Yeah.
and then I stopped because I was just like I need to be doing other things,
Yeah.
and then I started doing other things and liked it. like when
Yeah.
I was in high school and stuff, I played a lot, and then like
What type of game you like?
I've always been in 2K.
Hey,
Of course.
And-
2K is a staple.
2K.
Always.
You know,
always.
2K and Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed.
Nice.
But then like I stopped for like my first 2 years of
Right.
college, and then I took time off a little bit, was working some music. I was like, I'll have some time.
Mhm.
So I made a mistake doing that.
Have you been a commuter? Just completely random, but have you been a commuter to Suffolk since you've been going?
Yep.
Here? Yeah.
Yep. But the first semester, which was really cool. The friends up on the 10th floor, they allowed me to stay.
Romboy.
where-
That's
that's
where-
what,
yeah.
is that your floor
man.
too or
No,
no?
7.
Oh, okay.
I was with Jay and
Yeah.
Dan and them. And
Nice.
They let me stay there.
Shout out,
Yeah,
shout out, homies.
Much love. Much love. That's
Much
the
love. You guys
positivity.
better be listening. Much love.
Keep it rated BG.
What'd you say?
Keep it rated Breje Global.
Oh, okay. I like it. We'll put that at the beginning of the show. We'll keep it good. Okay, gentlemen. I think that's good then. Anything you guys want to shout out before we get out of here? Where can they find you?
That
What's
Meek
up?
Mill beat, man.
Oh,
You remember that beat?
Remember
with
that
the
Meek
sword?
Mill
yes.
beat?
I still want to hear it. I just want to listen to it. Man.
That's crazy.
Yo,
That's in the
I
vault
bet-
somewhere
Yeah.
deep in the
Dude,
vault.
I'll play it on the next show.
I'll send it to you. I'll send
Yeah,
it
I
to you.
really just want to hear it.
I haven't even done anything on top of it.
No, that's
Yeah,
fine.
so I just wanna hear the
beat
beat,
We'll
too.
do like
Oh,
type, we'll
okay,
just put
then-
it up for type.
That's what I wanted to ask. Any new stuff coming soon?
Yes, we have some music coming soon.
Yeah.
I just shot a few videos
Nice.
recently. They're coming out soon. We're doing a show. The dates are hazy right now, but it's
Okay.
gonna be for the beginning of the summer.
Nice.
So be on the lookout for that. You
Mhm.
guys can always get updates from me on my Snapchat because sometimes I use that too much. And that's
What's the venue for the show? Do you know yet?
either House of Blues or the Middle East.
Okay, so just keep look at those.
Yeah,
keep looking at those
we're still
websites.
we're still weighing our options right now, but we're making some fun moves, and
Nice.
you can catch me on Instagram at Breje Global.
Yeah.
Breje spelled BREJE.
Same for Snapchat.
Snapchat is Breje Music.
Cool.
And Twitter is Breje Global.
Nice. SoundCloud.
Breje Global.
Sick. Anything else they need to plug? That you need to plug? It's
No,
cool if you don't.
no.
It's cool if you don't.
But I appreciate you guys.
Of
having me
course,
today.
dude. Emilio, anything to plug? Where can they find you?
Just Age of Information, the hoodie that you guys will see.
Dope.
relatively
At
soon.
Age of Info, people. Hopefully, dude. Hopefully, this video comes together. Cause
What do you mean? Hopefully.
well, because
Hopefully, it will.
if it's not good,
Yeah.
if it's not
Will.
good, then
It's gonna be fun.
I
I mean, we're just sitting here.
I know, but I'm saying hopefully we were in it for the most part. You know,
I think
I've been
so.
leaning a little
Yeah.
bit, so
I mean,
we'll see.
I've been in
You've
it,
both
so
been leaning too. Yeah.
I'm fine. I've been sitting in it for the majority of it.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
pretty,
So just at Age of Info, ageofinfo.com.
I mean, I'll say it.
My bad. My bad. My
You
bad.
asked
Cousin.
me-
My
you asked
bad,
me the
cousin.
question,
The
you know,
floor
I
is
guess
yours.
Anyways, so
yeah, diva.
yeah. So for clothing, for Age of Information, basically just the hoodies right now. I have a small run, but I just I want to get a feel for how people respond to it.
All sizes or what?
Yeah, I have all sizes.
Cool.
I actually just well, that's a lie because I just ran out, I ran out of mediums. So
Okay, cool.
So I got all the other sizes.
Sorry,
but
mediums.
I mean, people. It'd be nice to get some kind of to continue to get a response. So
Yep, for sure.
Because I'd like to make more of this because this is I think this is an important hoodie. This
Yeah.
is like a staple hoodie for
Definitely.
Age of Information and
Yeah.
what we stand for. So
Yeah, even if you can't buy one, let them know what you think.
Yeah,
Like,
please.
feedback on
Feedback
good or
is
bad. It's
important,
always
baby.
good. It's always
Yeah.
good.
yeah, I'm open to anything, hearing anything.
Cool.
So yeah, that I think as it gets warmer, I'd like to maybe do like a T-shirt version of that, or I do
Yeah.
have some other designs that are waiting to be
Cool.
made.
Coming out soon? Or,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then so you can check us out on ageofinfo.com.
Dope.
On Instagram at ageofinfo.
Dope.
And then film wise.
Okay, let's go. Talk.
Film wise, I have a short film that I'm currently working on too, and so I have
Okay.
the one that
Yeah, we got
Tyler's-
stuff.
there's a
Slow
lot of
down.
stuff.
Go.
Yeah, we're cooking. So
Wrist twisted like a
There's-
stir fry.
but
I hope we don't
stay
get
tuned.
sued for that. I hope that's not copyrighted.
No,
No,
it's
we
not.
good.
We'll
Okay,
be
cool.
We'll fight it.
We'll beat the case.
Yeah.
we go to Suffolk.
The Suffolk lawyers, dog. We got law students, yo. We got law students. Okay.
Anyways, just stay tuned for the project Tyler and I are working on.
Yep.
Catch Your Breath.
Catch your breath coming soon, people.
Yeah, relatively soon.
It'll
And
definitely be promoted on the show.
Yeah.
Anywhere we're posting with the show, any pages, it'll definitely
My
be
page
there.
too. I'm excited.
Hell yeah. Okay, there we go. And Emilio on his pages, it'll be promoted.
Yep.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, everybody, you can follow Life of Times on Facebook, facebook.com/lifeandtimes13, on Instagram at lifeandtimes13. Check out my music on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Tyler-McGrath-10, or that's at Novastella13 on Instagram. When we're out, we're going to play a couple songs, one of mine, one of Breje, so you can definitely check out both of our music. Please check out Breje's SoundCloud, please. That's why we've got him up here. That's why we've got Emilio up here, because I really want, especially with this Suffolk, series, Suffolk student series, is I really want to get this creativity a platform and get this out there to people. I mean, obviously, Breje already has his own platform, and that's helping me, definitely putting me on. But I want to spread just anything
More
that's
exposure.
dope enough to
Showing
get on the
love.
show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Showing love.
More exposure is always good, man. Always showing love.
Oh, showing
so
love is the
thank
most
you,
important,
Breje.
yeah.
Thank you, Emilio. Appreciate you guys being
pleasure.
here.
Thank you,
We'll
bro.
definitely got to do this again sometime.
Yeah, of course.
And peace out, people. Thank you for listening to Life and Times. We'll see you again soon. Peace.
Yep.
This is the Legion.
I swear I'll get rid of all these women if you want it. Anything you need, babe, let me know. Let me know. Wanna see that pretty smile. Maybe spin around so I can remind. Need to see that pretty smile. Ooh, baby.
Pearly white teeth look like diamonds. Please don't you ever stop smiling. That presence you carry from heaven, the finest, an angel divinest. Your halo be shining, yeah. Just let me know what you need. Should I slow it down or increase the speed? Damn, how you look it is something to see. Girl, what you thinking about kicking with me? Came down to hold up and roll up a tree. Congregate, conversate, consummate we. Girl, let me know what you see when you dream. Clouds of the smoke come and go in between, and I can't compare it. Your beauty, your parent, you're unique in merit, and truly I swear it. Sit on the terrace, talk about what we missing. Time flying around the clock, but we dismissing. A peaceful existence with terms of endearment, body and spirit. Girl, let me hear it. All around the world, we could try Costa Rica. Lay on the beaches, I pour you sangria. But now here we are, let's go to the stars. Kick it and trade you a smile for bars. A mile of tar couldn't keep me away. When I see you smile, I forget the pain.
I swear I'll get rid of all these women if you want it. Anything you need, babe, let me know. Let me know. Wanna see that pretty smile. We spin around so I can admire. Need to see that pretty smile.
I got to. I can't help it. I got to. You smile, I smile. What can I say? Hey.
Yeah, fresh on your scene, thinking too much when I'm talking about me. It's usually not something I like to go through it, but your smile disarming, so let's get into it. Ashamed of rejection, I gaze at perfection with glimpses incessant since my adolescence. And all the repression that would be confession, spark conscious reflection on every aggression. But I still keep a smile, pick up your phone when I give it a dial. Bob on the beat with the flow like the Nile. Sleeping on me, then they all in denial. I'm aiming for greatness up in the rafters. This is my journey, the opening chapter. But I'm half of all that I could be with you. I see a day with you, seeing me through. I put you and I together. If I rearrange the alphabet, yeah. A lonely Romeo, I've been looking for my Juliet. Picture so perfect like we filming on a movie set. Presence is peace like a dove with an olive tree. I see you eyeing me, I give you all of me. Like what I'm saying, then baby just follow me. Kings need a queen and I sure need your company.
I swear I'll get rid of all these women if you want it.
None of them.
Anything you need, babe, let me know. Let me know.
All you gotta do is smile.
Wanna see that pretty smile.
Please show it to me.
We spin around so I can admire. Need to see that pretty smile. Ooh, baby.
Yeah. Girl, and I love. I get no about when you touch everything that you want. I just wanted to see you smile, you know. Like I know how hard it is to keep up a good oral hygiene and shit. I think you're doing a great job. And I think you're beautiful.
Yeah, that was T.O.D. Smile featuring Constantine. Oh my god. All right. Yeah, so this next one now is Ride by Breje. Enjoy it, people.
I bring a drink in the booth. Girl, I done told you the truth. I got me something to prove. Everything I said was true. Everything I said was true. I told my whole crew we gotta go get it, they know. A homie didn't come here to lose. I stay prepared and I get in my ride. Fly you to my right. Switch to my left lane, but never switch sides. True. Just love the real ones that stay true when we ride. We ride. No lies. Yeah. No lies. Homie, stay true. We ride. We ride. No lies. No lies. Yeah. it's all straight facts. If you really know business, you know how to flip back. I go back, that shit back. At a young age, I was on these trips. Out in LA doing music for biz. LAX riding in hotel like lit. Tryna get the net poppin' like Curry type switch. So I had to say bye like flick of the wrist. Had to say bye to all the fake shit. Homie, had to stay afloat, man, it is what it is. Gotta know who on the flight, even through the turbulence. To just ride, just ride, no lies, no lies, tell 'em now. We rise, no lie, yeah. Tell my whole crew we lit in the bitch. Had to tell Shawty, man, it is what it is. Tell my family we gon' get rich. Tell my whole crew, man, we gon' get rich. Just ride, just ride, no lies, no lies. I bring a drink in the booth. Girl, I done told you the truth. I got me something to prove. I bring a drink in the booth. Girl, I got something to prove. Girl, you know what I do, yeah. Come back and show me you don't. Just ride on, ride. Ride on, ride. Ride on. Girl, you looking just like a flame. A flame. Ain't no need to change. No lie. Oh, tell my whole crew we lit in the bitch. Tell my whole family we gon' get rich. Tell them gotta drop it, then you gotta make it hit. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Just ride, just ride, just ride. No lies, yeah. Making the book, I got me some, bro. Everything I saw is true. Everything I took.
Yeah. That was Breje. Sorry about that. I wasn't ready. That was Breje Ride. Again, thank you to Breje and Emilio for being on the show today. Again, check out everything that was plugged, including my stuff. Come back next week, Friday, 5 to 7. Tell your friends, tell everybody. We're going to have another great show. Thanks for listening. Peace, peace, peace.